Thanks for joining me today, Tuesday, July 14th. Now, today I have one story, only one, and it is very important. Today, I'm going to make the case as to why you should not believe any of the presidential polls that you're hearing about, and also keep in mind all of the media companies and shows and personalities that are talking about these polls and presenting them in a way that once I explain this to you, you should not trust them for anything at all. Now, let me get to that. Now, statistics is something that I understand. I took graduate level statistics and forecasting. I really enjoy it. It's something that I get. But I understand that this is something that the vast majority of Americans do not understand. They've never taken a class in it. In fact, I looked and found that of people that graduated in 1990, about 1% have ever taken a basic statistics class. And the statistics have gotten better over the years. Now it's a little bit higher. But this is something that most people don't understand. So today I'm not going to talk about a confidence interval. I'm not going to talk about a margin of error. I'm not going to talk about standard deviation, sample size, none of that. Because I am going to try to present to you an example for these presidential polls that everybody can understand with no math at all, okay? So last week there was a poll in Texas about Biden and Trump, and by the Dallas Morning News and UT Tyler. And it came out that Biden is up 5% over Trump in Texas. And this is just a sign of what's going to happen in November. And I'm going to explain to you why that's totally nonsense, okay? Now, what I saw is on all the cable news shows, everybody talked about, Biden's up 5% in Texas. What does this mean? Trump's really in trouble. But let's take a closer look at this poll that was done by the Dallas Morning News and UT Tyler, okay? Now, just to make it really simple, they asked 2,000 people who they were planning on voting for. But first they decided to find out what they are currently. So they said, are you a Democrat? Are you a Republican? Or are you neither? Okay, and in this case, 37% of the people they asked were Democrats, 40% were Republicans, and 23% were neither. Okay, so pretty close on the Democrats and Republicans and less that were neither. And if that was what was expected to take place in November, if that's what they thought, okay, that's probably what people are going to vote for in November, then perhaps this poll would have some legitimacy. But I don't think that's anywhere close to the percentages of the people that are going to vote in November. To make this even easier, let's just go back to 2016 and the presidential primary. So we can see how many people voted in the Democratic presidential primary, how many people voted in the Republican presidential primary in Texas. And that'll give us a kind of a good idea of the ratio of what Texas is. Now, at the time, if you remember, Hillary was going against Bernie, so that was exciting. And at the time, it was Ted Cruz and Donald Trump and Marco Rubio were going for the Republican ticket. So there was a lot of enthusiasm in both parties. Well, in this case, in 2016, 1.4 million Democrats turned up and voted in the presidential primary. 1.4 million. And in the Republican primary, the same day, 2.8 million Republicans showed up to vote. Twice as many. Exactly twice as many Republicans showed up for the primary for the Republicans than the Democrats. And you're like, wow, that's a lot more Republicans than Democrats voting. So when I look at this poll done by the Dallas Morning News, done by UT Tyler, and I see that the percentage of Republicans was 40% and 37% was Democrat, you think, that's not even close. Shouldn't it be twice as many Republicans as Democrats? Or at least a little bit more Republicans than Democrats, it's nearly equal of who they asked. And so there's no way that this poll can be accurate. I mean, just think about it on a basic level. In 2016, twice as many Republicans went to the polls and voted on the primary election day as Democrats. Twice as many. And in this poll that everyone was talking about over the weekend, it was nearly identical, 40% and 37%. Now, I'm not using any statistical jargon or anything to make this case. I'm just saying, does that sound like a legitimate poll to you? Because it doesn't to me. It doesn't sound anywhere close to a legitimate poll. And yet, MSNBC, CNBC, they will all talk about this and how this is a sign that Trump's in big trouble in November. Now, you may wonder, oh, Dallas Morning News, what kind of paper are they? Well, in 2016, they did endorse Hillary Clinton. It was the first time they endorsed a Democrat running for president. So the paper that paid for the study endorsed Clinton last time, and they came out with this insane poll that shows that Joe Biden is up by 5%. Do you believe that poll? Let me know in the comments if you think that this is a legitimate poll. I've tried to explain this in the most basic fashion for you. If it makes sense, please let me know in the comments. If you think what I'm doing is important, you can share this video with someone else. But keep in mind, you can go and look at all of the TV shows that are touting this poll as evidence as to what's going to happen in November. And if you're counting on this poll of what's going to happen in November, you're sadly mistaken, because this poll has nothing to do with reality. Reality would be polling at a proportional rate of Democrats and Republicans. They didn't do that. It's not even close to reality. And so, should you trust a news source that is using this poll? Should you trust them? Should you believe them? I can't believe them, and I don't think that you should believe them too. And if they're wrong about this, if they will straight up mislead their audience about this, what else are they misleading you about? Probably everything. But that's just my take on it. Let me know yours in the comments. Have an awesome day. Peace.